Yep.
You're definitely gonna have to sign this. That's Graham's normal signature. So we set off from Saranda on a hike. We hiked and hitchhiked our way along the coast all the way to the first campsite. Then went up, found a path, went to what we thought was going to be the second campsite, and from there we walked back to the main road and we got a hitch back to Saranda. Then, the next day, we set off from Saranda fairly early in the morning. We swim out, taking a couple of breaks, and end up in the first campsite. Set up camp there, it's stunning, on a hillside. Then the next day, we set out. We have a little bit of a covert operation to pick up our leftover treasures, and then we end up in Paradise Beach.
Camp in a beautiful location, but wake up to tropical storms.
Whilst the storm rages, in the morning we find shelter in one of the abandoned constructions. Then it subsides a little bit, and we beast it, we power it all the way to a rock that we think is just a break, and then we look over the edge, and that's it. That's the end.
I got some proper questions for you. I wrote something down.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Go on. That's staying in.
How has it been travelling with a companion?
It's different, isn't it? You get to share everything. Actually, this is one of the reasons I started the vlog, because I always had my own little world. It's been rock and roll. I tend to shy away from it, probably because I fear that different ideas are going to conflict, and also because most people don't want to swim 300 kilometers.
Fair point.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
What have you learnt in travelling, in adventuring with someone?
What have I learned? It's good to share the tasks. To do everything, you have to. It's easy to forget things, to overlook things, or so on. If your task is, okay, I've got to start the fire, well, you just start the fire and you don't worry about the rest. That's good.
What have you learned about yourself in travelling or adventuring?
I think I'm one of those people who's more comfortable when they're on the road than when they're at home. I think that's become more and more apparent. After a while, no matter where it is, no matter who, what friends, what family I have around, after a while I slump a bit. Itchy feet for sure, but also I lose a bit of verve. And when I am traveling, those often I'm not necessarily enjoying it, or not necessarily, it's not necessarily type 1 fun. I'll talk about the types of fun another time. It keeps me on my toes, because you have to make decisions all the time. It never goes the way you think. We plan these days quite a lot more than I would normally plan my trip. And even here we had setbacks, we had things, it was all over the place. And that is something that in normal life is difficult to have.
One of the traits I've observed in you, not that this is news to me, but that just it becomes apparent, is that when you're doing what you do, you're not just crazy, like a lot of people like to put it, and by crazy I just, super adventurous. You're not just that. You're not just blitzing like an Iron Man to the finish line. What you're actually doing constantly is problem solving. Like,
that is it. That is my cocaine. That's exactly it. It's constantly trying to figure out the next step. It's constant and constantly being confronted with problems. You have to get around them. You have to figure things out, and you have to. and I'm massively lazy in general life, and when I have a little thing I tend to put it off till later, and it tends to escalate. And so, but when I'm on the road, or when I'm doing one of my adventures, especially if it's, you know, that it's a new place, it's a new environment, and it could get dangerous possibly, or it could present with some serious issues, you have to do it. You have to solve it now. And so you do it. And then you do it again, and then again, and then again, and then you know, each day there are several things that you've tried to work out. You know, even if it's just hitchhiking, you don't know what road you're going to take. You don't know who you're going to meet and where you're going to get dropped off, and so on. And sometimes it's better to not take the long route, not go further, just to get dropped off in a good location or something like that. Or if you're swimming, perfect example the other day, you know, you can just swim, but sometimes it's better to think about it before and to do a massive hike for a whole day just to drop off certain things, you know, just to make your life easier. I don't know.
Or a buddy who's saying they're going to die if they don't rest.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
A wise man once said, someone I met sometime, somewhere, once told me that, I think it was about business, but I think it applies to everything. Partnering, choosing the right partner is everything in life. That applies romantically, professionally, socially, adventurously. The most successful people are the people who surround themselves with
The right crew.
the right crew.
Amen.
We'll see if I make the cut. The screen is just cropped so that, so that I'm not in it. You're just answering like.
Because it pushes you also. It's not just that you get to tell your story, but you kind of go out of your way to find more of a story. So it pushes you to pursue situations a little bit further, I think. And also it's just fun. It's fun to play around with situations and to find interesting camera angles and to learn to tell the story through video. I think it's a really interesting medium. It's a really interesting way of telling a story.
Yeah.
And I love storytelling. You know me since you know me for the last 10 years or something. Good. Smashing. All right. Hey, we done good. We did 40k or so.
40k.
So that's not a decent amount of my road.